Hello students, welcome to Lucky Kit. In this video, I would like to explain how to write a C program to check whether a given number n is perfect number or not. Very first, we will understand what is perfect number. A perfect number is a positive integer number which is equals to the sum of its positive divisors. For example, 6 is a perfect number because its positive divisors are 1, 2, 3 and its sum 1 plus 2 plus 3 is equals to 6. That's why we call 6 is a perfect number. Before we start writing the program, first we'll understand what is the logic for writing the program. If you understand the logic, then writing any program becomes easy. Here we have to find the divisors of a positive integer and perform sum of all the positive divisors should give the same number. Let us an example 6. 6 is having what are the positive divisors? 1 into 6, 2 into 3, 3 into 2. So what are the positive divisors are possible? 1, 2 and 3. So when you perform 1 plus 2 plus 3, you are going to get 6, that is the original number. How to find the divisors of any number? So we have to see that whether that particular number is divisible by 1 or not. And you know that any number is divisible by 1. Because any number is divisible by 1, we need not to check whether it is divisible by 1 or not. So we have to check from 2. Is it divisible by 2? Yes, 2 into 6. Is it divisible by 3? Yes, 3 into 4. Is it divisible by 4? Yes, 4 into 3. Is it divisible by 5? No. Is it divisible by 6? Yes, 6 into 2. So after that, is it divisible by 7? We need not to check. Why? Because 12 cannot be divisible by 7, 8, 9 and all. Okay, then it is 12 divisible by 12. So what we understood here, any number is divisible by 1 and also itself. Because any number is divisible by 1 and itself, we cannot consider the itself is a divisor. Okay, so we have to check whether a particular number n is divisible by 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 6 here in this example. Now what is 6? 6 is 12 by 2. Here in this example, we have to verify what are the positive divisors of 6. 1 you should not check. Is it 2? Yes. 3? Yes. Then we need not to check for 4 and all. What is 3? What is 3? It is 6 by 2. Means we have to check the divisors of a number n from 2 to n by 2. 2 to n by 2 means we have to check is it divisible by 2, 3, 4 up to n by 2. We have to check. After finding all the divisors, we have to perform a sum of the divisors like 2 plus 3 plus 4 here in this example. 2 plus 3, 5 plus 4, 9. This 9 is not same as the given number 12. Then I can call 12 is not a perfect number. Here in the previous example, 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is equals to 6, then I can call 6 is a perfect number. Simple. Now here we understood the logic. We have to read a number. After reading the number, we have to check whether that number is divisible by 2 to n by 2 times. 2 to n by 2 means we have to check whether that number is divisible by I or not. That I should repeat from 2 to n by 2 each one. If that number is divisible by I, then it is to be added with the divisors. So means we have to find the divisors. If it is divided by I, then we can call n modulus I equal to 0. If it is 0, means we can say I is a divisor for n. If I is a divisor for n, that I is to be added to divisors sequentially. Right, simultaneously we have to add i's repeatedly to d. So initially the sum of the divisors is 1, we assume. because any number is divided with 1, so we can call 1 is a divisor. So that's why we can take d is 1, and repeatedly we have to check whether n is divided with I. If it is divided with I, then add that I to d, repeat it. How long we have to repeat it? Until I becomes n by 2. If after I becomes n by 2, then we have to compare the number with the sum of the divisors I am calling d. If it is equal, we can call it is a perfect number. If it is not equal, then we can call not perfect number. Fine. Now here we understood what is the logic of perfect number. Now we'll convert this logic into program syntax so that we can write a program and execute and test the program. For testing the program, I'm going to use an online GDB compiler. It requires to have one integer variable I'm calling n for reading a number from the user, and it requires to repeat a loop starting from 2 to n by 2. So for repetition of a loop, I will be using a variable called I. This I requires to start from 2 to n by 2. So that for iteration, I will be using I. And after dividing a number with I, if it is divisible, then that I is to be added with previous divisors. So for adding divisions successively, I will be using a variable called d. Initially d I will be taking as 1. Now here I will be using a printf statement to enter the value of n. For reading an input through keyboard, we have to use a scanf statement. Scanf, because I will be reading an integer, I need to use a percentile d specifier. Percentile d specifies it is a decimal. That decimal we have to read into a variable called n after reading. Now what we have to do? We have to divide n successively from 2 to n by 2. For this, I'll be writing a loop called for. You can use any kind of loops. Here loop variable is I is starting with 2 and I should be less than or equals to n by 2. So means loop is to be repeated till to the n by 2, and every iteration I is to be incremented. So we can use I plus plus. Here inside a loop, you check whether the number n is divisible by I or not. If it is divisible by I, we can say n modulus I equal to 0. If n modulus I equal to 0, what is to be done? The d is to be added with I, d plus I to be repeated. Now here every time I going to get increment by 1, means from 2, then 3, then 4 up to n by 2. Each time that n is going to be divided with I, if the remainder is 0, then that I is going to be added to the d. This is to be repeated until I becomes n by 2. Once the loop is terminated, then we have to compare the value of n with d. What is n? N is the given number. What is d? D is the sum of the positive divisors. If it is same means the number and sum of the positive divisors of a numbers are same, then we can call the number is a perfect number. It is a perfect number. Otherwise we can say else the number is not a perfect number. So here I am writing printf not a perfect number. Done. So here I converted my logic completely into a program statements. Now test the program by running the program. Click on the run button. So my program is successfully compiled and executing with no errors. Here I can enter a number. So here I'll be entering a number 6. Click on enter. Then you are getting a result called perfect number. Means because 6 is a perfect number, because it has a positive divisors 1, 2 and 3. 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is going to be 6, which is the same number. Execute the program for one more time. Now enter the number is 12. As already we have shown, the 12 is not a perfect number. Why? Because 12 will have the divisors 2, 3, 4 and 6. When you add this 2, 3, 4 and 6, so you are not getting the same number. So that 12 is not a perfect number. This is how we have to build the logic and convert the logic into program. Always I recommend you first understand the program, that is understand the problem statement. According to the problem statement, build the logic. Once you understand the logic, writing the program becomes very, very easy. Hope you understood. Thank you. Please like, share and subscribe.